Maybe. Come on. Hey, this is David Perdue from mynams.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and this is our weekly live training. We do this every Wednesday at 2:30 in the afternoon, and it is live and recorded, so we do have replays for folks. So if you are online here now to watch this today's call with Jeff Herring, you're going to be able to watch the replay as well. We'll have that up, but it's only going to be for a few days, so we want to make sure that you get in here and stay in here. Now, a couple of things I want to tell you ground rules wise. First is we would love for you to tweet, and I will put I'll put a little tweet here in the box in a second for you, just to go out and shoot out to everybody and get folks into this, because we're going to talk about some really important stuff. Last month was our 30-day content creation challenge in the MyNAMS Insiders Club. If you don't know how this works, the Insiders Club has a monthly 30-day challenge. This month is simple product creation. Last month was content creation. That was a brand new one for us, and Jeff was our guest last month. And he graciously joined in our private group and helped a lot of folks create content last month and achieve their goals for the 30-day challenge. And that was awesome. But we got a ton of questions about the call to actions in content and how do you make content really convert for you. Well, there's only one guy I know of to go back to talk to about this, and that was Jeff. So we've got him on our weekly live training this week to really talk specifically about call to actions in content and converting. Jeff's the guy. When it comes to converting content, Jeff is the guy. Last time I checked, he had over, I think it was 1,500 articles on eZine articles and 1.6 million views or more on eZine articles. And every one of those has a call to action box at the bottom that Jeff does.
The thing you remember there, David, that's just one channel. That's just one channel of all the different channels, and that's just one channel in text content. It's not any of the other channels in text. It's not any of the audio channels. It's not any of the video channels. It's not any of the infographic channels. That's just one channel.
And so there's Jeff Herring.
Hi. By way of introduction.
Jeff can't wait to get started. So here we go. Jeff, tell people about content creation today. I'm taking notes. So
all right. So, you know what? I will probably take some too, because every time I present, other ideas come up from people's questions or from stuff we say, so I'll be taking notes right along with you while I deliver this thing. Let's switch over there. And
be sure and introduce yourself. Tell people how you got started in this business and what you're doing with content first.
Okay, sure. As David said, my name is Jeff Herring, and talk about a reluctant hero story. Just the fact that we're doing this, talking about this, still amuses me. Okay, I used to be a marriage and family therapist in private practice. Never finished my PhD at Florida State University because my professors told me I couldn't write. I believed them, and so I never finished. Now, David, you know this, a few years ago, one of those professors signed up for one of my content creation workshops, which was a pretty darn happy day. Okay? So that's how this got started. I started writing a relationship column for the local newspaper. That took off. Started teaching this online in late 2005, part-time, and that took off, went full-time in 2007, and the rest, as they say, is history. So it's all about creating content and then the things you can do with that content. Online visibility, well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, and then, don't blow by that newspaper column, because you were a guy who couldn't write, and you used content as your way of getting incredible exposure and getting leads in the door. You knew right away about conversion with newspaper columns.
Well, yeah, it really happened quickly, because Tallahassee is where Florida State is, a lot of universities, and the therapists talk about how Tallahassee is glutted with mental health. There's as many therapists in Tallahassee in Leon County as there are in Orange County, which is Orlando. Okay, and so what that did for me is I became the guy in the paper. Okay, and so what happened was every other therapist in town, when they got a call from a prospective client, the question they got asked was, how much do you charge, and will my insurance cover it? Which are reasonable questions until you really think about it. Because what they're really asking is, how little can I pay you, and can I get someone else to do it? Okay? Not great questions, okay? Because I had content in the paper every week where people could see on a regular basis how I approached their problems and how I solved their problems, totally changed the question I got, which was, Jeff, how soon can we get in to see you? And what I want everybody to realize there is it changes the whole pursuit dynamic in marketing. You're no longer having to pursue clients. They're pursuing you. Okay? And so you get them into your content, and then they go through your content in such a way, and that's whether it's text, audio, or video, that they're wanting more from you. And curiously enough, at the end of the content, you have a way for them to get more from you. And that's where the content conversion comes in and where we're going to focus today.
So I have to tell you something I've never told you before, Jeff.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah.
This always happens when we do these.
I know. So in 1983, maybe 82, we had moved to Atlanta. I had a wife and 3 kids, and the wife part of that was not going so well. So we needed some help. And what I decided to do was we were going to get some marriage counseling. And what I decided to do, since we were new to Atlanta, and oh no, this would have been 85. It would have been 84, 85. So what I decided to do was I went to the bookstore. I looked for books written by therapists, marriage counselors. There was one that I had heard of. Turned out that therapist was in Atlanta, and so that's the guy I called, just because I knew he'd written a book and that other people were referencing that book. So I called him. Now, I didn't think that he would have any availability for us, and he didn't.
Who was it? Remember?
It was the guy who wrote The Crucible.
Oh, yeah, Whitaker.
That's who it was, yep.
Yeah.
So I called him, and he said, I don't have any, not him, his secretary said, I don't have any availability, but we recommend. And then I went to the person that they recommended. And that's how I found a therapist. It's exactly what you were talking about, a family therapist, a marriage counselor. So
right.
Same
thing.
Authority through content.
How they approach problems and how they solve problems.
That's right. That's right.
And folks, we're talking about reading that in newspapers, right? It's no different online. The principle is exactly the same. When people can find your content in a blog, in an article, a blog talk radio or a podcast, or in a hangout or a webinar or a video, and you show them how you approach their problems uniquely and how you solve their problems uniquely, you don't have to chase clients. They come to you. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, now you can start your slides. Let's get.
Okay. Well, I'm just having fun talking and learning all this stuff here.
I know.
All right, here we go. Get those over there. All right, so we're going to talk about, this is, you hear it talks about a call to action or resource box in the easy articles. That's really a fancy term for call to action. So we're going to talk about how to create a call to action for your articles, blog posts, videos, and any other content under the sun or under the moon for that matter. All right, so as David was just talking about.
You may not even know what is a call to action.
A call to action, great question, is you can have it at the end of content. You can have it in a sales letter. I'm going to show you an example of that. Okay, where you're asking people, your prospect, to take the next logical success step. Okay, and so when they do that, what happens is they come to the end of your content and they want to know what to do next. Most people have no idea of how to tell somebody or invite somebody what to do next. Okay, what David and I are inviting you to do, folks, today is to not be most people. Okay, because most people are broke. We want you to learn these ways of creating calls to action that convert your content into prospects and then into customers. How's that for a definition of a call to action?
I like it. All right.
So back to the slides. Okay, so why should you listen to me? Now, as we talked about, here is that column that David talked about. And it's instructive in a couple ways. It proves that at one time I had dark hair. And again, when people can find your content and see how you approach problems and solve problems, people come in. Here we are talking at NAMS down here in Atlanta that we do twice a year, of course, as you guys know. Then my big four. Right? Dan Kennedy, Lisa Sasovich, Alex Mendoza, and Tom Antion. Tom Antion, my first mentor. Dan Kennedy, widely thought of the best copywriter in the world, has hired me to do his content creation for him. Okay, behind the scenes, creating content for him, marketing his stuff. David, I have that first check from Dan Kennedy framed. Okay, copied and framed, because, you know, heck yeah, right? All of these people I've either done behind the scenes for, and or they use my stuff with themselves and their folks. You don't have to just believe me, though. Online version of Entrepreneur Magazine talks about content marketing being king and the preferred tool for marketing. Okay, so here's my mission in everything I do. And I know David's mission too, helping online entrepreneurs just like y'all go further, faster. And when you use what we're going to show you today, you will go further, faster, because most people, either they don't know this or they think they know it and they do it very, very poorly. Okay, now, I want to give you the big picture, all about content creation. And all of this came from a little 650-word column in the paper that I wasn't supposed to be able to write. Okay? Now, I probably still couldn't write academically if you held a gun to my head. However, the difference is this. The difference is I know how to write like people talk and write conversationally. That's all we're talking about here. So if you have trouble writing in APA style or writing formally, don't worry about it. We're not asking you to do that. We're asking you to create like you talk. So first part is content creation. And from that, you get all kinds of benefits. Online visibility, traffic generation, get to build a list community, and create products from it as well. I see you grinning, David. What you grinning about?
That what you're using as your graphics is content created by Laura West in one of her info doodles as you were speaking, and I'm just amazed at how you are using content at every turn.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you lifting that out, because I use it so much, and I'm looking at it over on the wall here, framed, the whole picture, that I don't even really think about it. So thank you for noticing that. Yeah, but this is just pieces of the whole thing that's up on my wall. And so, look, folks, if you're a beginner, you're in the right place. Intermediate, expert, you're in the right place, because most people don't know this. So here's what we're going to get on this Hangout. A little bit of webinar wisdom. We're going to go over the call to action mindset, 3 big call to action blunders, and what to do instead. And I want you to understand the power of this. Then we're going to do our Results Now mini workshop. As in everything else I do, you guys are actually going to do something and create some of this right on our show. And then I'm going to show you a call to action genius strategy, walk you through your next success steps, and of course, like all my stuff, so much more. And like all my stuff, we got a sponsor. Okay, the profitable content creation templates that I invite everybody that's listening to this to get if you don't already have it. Okay, you'll learn how to create content, and then I got a special surprise for you at the end that David doesn't even know about. Now, another sponsor is an organization called Outnumber Hunger that helps feed local families. A portion of everything that comes in from all I do goes to these folks. So here's the webinar wisdom. Content is the foundation of everything online. Okay? Now, what you're looking at here is a piece of content, right, David? Okay, it's an infographic. That's now considered content. That is, up on those hills is one of the stops for the Appalachian Trail. This is a buddy of mine that's buying this 143 acres where we camped out a couple weeks ago. And all I did was snap this picture with my iPhone and create this in WordSwag, and now it's content. Okay, so content is everywhere. It's the foundation of everything. Now, here's the mindset I want you to adopt. And this is so hard to do. It's not about you, folks. Okay? And that's why the name in Easy Articles called Resource Box is a misnomer, because people think they're supposed to talk all about themselves, right? The prospect, I'm sorry, they might like you, they may like your stuff, but they don't care. They're interested in them. Okay? Listening to radio station, WIIFM. Okay? And I want you to notice how I changed the call letters here to that, and I spent like a long time doing that, so please appreciate it. So WIIFM, what's in it for me? That's what they're listening to, folks. In the call to action that you're going to create on this show, I'm going to show you how to frame it to answer the question, what's in it for them, and get them to take the next step. All right? So let's look at some mistakes people make And the first one is AAY, all about you. Yeah, that sounds like what I just said. If you hear me saying something twice, that's how important it is, folks. You got to switch from the all about me stuff to what you do instead. It's all about them. What's in it for them, and why should they click on that link to do what you want them to do? Okay? The whole thing about a call to action in content conversion is getting your prospect to take the next action you want them to take. So, second mistake. A lot of times people will create a call to action that doesn't answer the question, what is this? It's confusing to the person. And the confused person doesn't click, doesn't buy. So instead, you want to have optimal clarity. You want to be very, very clear about what you're asking them to do. I want to show you how to do that in just a minute. And mistake number 3. David, this just, it drives me crazy. But the biggest blunder I see is there is no next step. And not too long ago, I was teaching some of my higher level mentees about this, and I went over to YouTube to find a video that was good, but had no call to action, no link, nothing to do next. Unfortunately, it wasn't hard to find, right? But however, it was a good video with no links to join a community, to get anything else, to go further with them. What was laughable and sad all at the same time is the video was about list building. You get the disconnect there?
Yes, I got the disconnect. I was on mute saying,
okay.
No.
It's a video about list building with no way to build a list. I mean, come on. So what you want to do instead of having no next step is answer the question you talk about, David. What's next? Okay, what now? What's next? After they've consumed your content, what's next? And when you take them by the hand and show them what's next and what to do and take them to your stuff, you've already got a highly qualified, highly responsive person in your world from your call to action. So, making sense so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. You know what's next is always my favorite thing, because that what next thing just keeps you moving forward.
Say that last part again.
I said that what next question always keeps you moving forward.
Exactly, exactly. So, all right, so you ready to do a little bit of work, folks, and create a call to action? Here we go. So, here's the power of profitable calls to action before we get started. Now, folks, listen. When you master what I'm about to show you, you can pretty much write your own ticket online. Okay, I'll say that again. When you master what I'm about to show you, you can pretty much write your own ticket online. Because listen, whenever I want more of all these good, wholesome things from the internet, here's what I do. Whenever I want more visibility, whenever I want more traffic, more people in my community, more people on my webinars or hangouts, more opportunities, more relationships, and more profit, I do one simple and powerful thing with ridiculously relentless consistency. Okay? I create more content with a call to action. Folks, it's as simple and it's as powerful as that. And those of you that joined us in the August content creation focus are learning that. Now you're going to learn the next step. All right? So, now, when you're creating your call to action, there's 5 questions that you need to answer in everything you do. Okay? The first one is, we alluded to it in one of the mistakes. What is this? You want to be very, very clear as you, I'm going to show you examples of all this in a minute, as you invite them to take the next step, what it is you're inviting them to get and what it is you want them to do. Okay? So the first question you got to answer is, what is this? The second question is, what's in it for me? What's the, not the features, folks, what's the benefits for them? And even beyond that, what's the transformation they're going to get out of clicking on that link and taking the next step with you and responding to your call to action? Number 3, sounds kind of funny, but do I trust this person? Now, we've all seen that stuff online. You see a lot of this on Facebook, those little sponsored updates that say, you know, $12,000 in 2 weeks with this one simple tweak. Okay? Now, David, you see something like that, do you trust the person behind it?
Not at all.
Why?
Because they're telling me numbers and an opportunity that I just don't believe works.
That, you're absolutely right, and they're probably one of those people that have bought something and they're using a tagline from the product. They haven't made more than $10 from it, but they're telling you how you can do it. Okay, so you got to show your credibility. Now, you don't do that by saying, "Hi, I'm a credible person." You do that in your content. When you deliver good stuff that gives them something to do, that builds your credibility and answers the "Do I trust this person?" Number 4, does this make sense? Does it make sense to take this next step? In other words, is the next step connected to what I just read? Does it make sense flowing out of what I just read, just listened to, or just watched? And then, what I consider the most important one, David, number 5, what do I do next? Okay, cool. I like what I've seen so far. I want some more. You're making that invitation. How do I do it? And the danger is that we get so, it's called the curse of knowledge. We get so caught up in what we do that we assume everybody knows that after you read, watch, listen to something, you're supposed to click on a link and do something. Well, believe it or not, there's hundreds of thousands of people coming on the internet for the first time every day. So what you got to do is take them by the hand and lead them into that next step. And I'm going to show you an example in a moment.
Jeff, on those 5 questions,
yes?
One of the things that I realized as I was getting to the bottom, what do I do next, is that these are the 5 questions from the reader's perspective, not mine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that distinction. That's a good one. Yeah, it's the 5 questions that you've got to answer in your stuff that the reader is asking. The reader, the listener, the viewer, your prospect. They may not be able to articulate these questions, but it's what they're asking at a maybe a subconscious level, and objections they don't even know they have. See, what you're doing here with these 5 questions, when you answer it in your call to action to their satisfaction, David, you're taking care of objections before they even come up. And it just really smooths the transition into the call to action and for them to do what you want them to do. Okay? Make sense?
It does.
Awesome. So thank you for that distinction. That's the questions they're asking. All right, so how to tell a profitable fib for fun and profit. Now, I'm sorry to bring this up, folks, but I'm going to teach you to tell a fib. Now, you know David Perdue to be a man of integrity. You know me to be a man of integrity. NAMS is based on integrity. And here I am asking you to tell a fib? Holy crap, what's going on? All right, so calm down, it's going to be okay. FIB stands for flow, invite, and brand. Okay? That's what you want in your call to action. And I'm going to show you exactly what each one of these means, and I'm going to show you 2 examples of it, okay, that you can emulate, and then I'm going to have you do it. So, flow, you want it to flow seamlessly out of your content. Okay? Now, many of you have been over at Easy Articles creating content over there. Here's what most people do that blocks the flow. Okay? They've got this great content and people are thinking, I want more from them. And then they get to the resource box and think it's like a bio. And they say stuff like, well, Sally Sue went to 3 really hard universities, has written 10 really great books, and her parents love her a lot. Well, who cares? Okay, when you do that, you've just announced the content is now over and you can go away. It's not what you want to do. All right, so you want it to flow seamlessly out of your content, and I'll show you that in just a second. So that's the flow part. The invite part is you want to use invitational language to get them to take the next step, and not the typical language you see online. Get this now, because there's only 3, and maybe even less, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to have it up, because they're going to take it down because they don't like me, and the deadline's tonight, and if you don't get it, your family will starve by tomorrow. Okay? That's a little embellished, but not a whole lot, right, David?
Right.
Okay? What you want to do is use invitational language, and I'll show you that in a second. But within that invitation, here's what you want to do. All right? I got this from Frank Kern, who got it from John Carlton, who I don't know if he created or got it from somebody else. So it's not original with me. It's just original in the way I use it. Okay? So in the invitation, you want to basically say these 3 things. Here's what I've got for you. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what you want to do next. Okay, let those kind of sink in. Write them down. Here's what I've got for you. Here's what it will do for you. And here's what you want to do next. Do those 3, and you're going to be sitting pretty. Right? So that's the flow, then the invite, and then the brand. That's where you link you to the good stuff. You do get to talk about you only because you want to link your name, your brand to the good stuff they're about to get. Right? So, David, that all sounds good, but wouldn't an example be nice right about now?
We love examples and hands-on. So
We
yeah,
love examples. We love it. We love it. All right, so this is the end of some content over at Easy in Articles. It could be a webinar, it could be a blog post, it could be a video, it could be anything. The principles are the same. All right, now, first thing I want to show you, looking at that, David, well, you know this because you know I've taught, so I'll let you answer the question. Where do you think the
that's a
content
setup. That means I need to have the answer.
What's that?
I said that's a setup. That means I need to have the answer.
Pressure's on, pal. Where do you think the content ends, the call to action begins?
Well, I'm reading it. So
Okay.
here's a little challenge for you if you decide to. Well, it's right there. Here's my challenge to you. That's where it starts.
Yes and no.
Well, see, now I've got the wrong answer, Jan.
No, actually, you got the right answer. Because really, in the way I teach you to create content, the call to action starts from word one. Okay? But in Easy in Articles, what happens is you get to the end of your content, and then you have the what they call the resource box, what we call the call to action. And most people start talking about themselves. Okay? Now, what I want you to notice, folks, is several things. The main thing is this, is that take away that line, and in Easy in Articles, the way they've got it set up, your call to action is the next naturally occurring paragraph in the content. Okay?
So, can I share something here?
Yeah, man.
So my background's newspaper writing. Adding
Right.
call to action was never part of newspaper writing.
Not only was it not part of it, you weren't supposed to do it.
Yeah, that'd be bad, right, to do that. So when you asked me that, and I looked up here, here's my challenge. This is what I struggle with the most. That's the reason I wanted to comment on this.
Okay, cool.
Content.
Because if you do, then other people.
Absolutely, because call to action is really difficult for me because I was trained to never write it. So when I'm getting ready to, and I understood resource boxes completely because resource boxes were all about, credibility and identifying yourself, and that's what we did do in the newspaper business, right?
Right.
But what you're saying here is to go from that paragraph into the call to action. So get started here is obviously where the call to action starts.
Right.
And for me, that's also where I get really stuck when I write articles because
Cool.
it's that flow into part that I always mistake. And what I see from this little example that you have is the 4 paragraphs or the 4 sentences below or above the call to action are actually leading right to it.
Exactly. Bingo. Boom. You got it. Yeah, that's part of it. Right? And it flows right into here. Now, everybody, I could take you to the exact place in the yard of the home I built in Tallahassee, Florida, when I was cutting the grass and thinking about this kind of stuff because I was just getting started with it, when it hit me that this was the next paragraph, seamlessly. Okay? Now, because of realizing that and capitalizing on it and using it and teaching it, I don't ever have to cut my grass again. Okay? I got somebody else that does that. Okay? So this is powerful stuff, folks. All right, so there's where it breaks. All right, so let's break down everything we've talked about so far. All right, so here's the flow part. It flows right out of there. It doesn't have some announcement or anything other than, well, you know what some people do, David? They'll put copyright, their name and the year right here. No, you're stopping the flow. You're constipating your prospect. Don't do that. Okay? I know. It's graphic so people remember it. Okay? So here's the flow. Get started here. I want to help you get started creating content on a regular basis by connecting you with your free instant access to my 3 mistakes content creation template. Grab yours by visiting. Okay, so that's the flow. Okay, and you're still teaching there, right? So it flows right out. Now, this is part of the art of this. But what you've noticed is one of the ways I've set up this flow is I've got a bold subheading right there, right? Here's my challenge to you. And all the way through that article are a lot of bold subheadings. So people are used to those. So by the time they say get started or see get started here, they're used to seeing that. So it looks like it's part of the article, right? Now, this principle you use in your webinar slides, you use it in your video, you use it in your presentations, you use it in your blog posts, you use it anywhere you got content, okay? Keep the flow going, all right? So the next step is your invite, okay? So listen to this invitational language. You'll get the template complete with formulas and instructions, along with a look over my shoulder video that shows you how I use the template to create profitable content, all right? So you're getting an invitation and you're getting some benefits. Up here, I'm talking real clearly. What is this? What's in it for you? Up here, I've earned your trust, okay? And now I'm telling you what to do next, right? So that's all in here. And I'm going to break down the other stuff in just a minute, all right? And then here's the third part, the brand part. Now, I could say, okay, by Jeff Herring, the king of content marketing. And that would be true, okay? Or as you've recently dubbed me, the king of content conversion.
So dubbed.
So dubbed. Okay? But what I want you to notice, folks, is what I've done here. I've used something straight from a medium we all know and love, television, brought to you by Jeff Herring. Okay? We're used to that language, right? Okay? And instead, I say dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. Okay? I'm not, David, you know, some of this I do so naturally, I didn't realize it until several NAMs ago. You had a call to all the speakers to turn in their bio. Remember? And you used mine as an example. Remember that?
Yep.
And why did you do that?
Because you were also the king of the soft sell. Because NAMS is not about hard selling anything, and but I was pointing out to people how you, at the end of your bio, could actually invite people to get to know you.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole thing was about them. Right? Just like this is I'm using my name here to connect my name and my brand to all this good stuff somebody's going to get, but dedicated to helping you unleash and cash in on your content. It's about them.
So let me just say that I get to take a little credit for you even doing this product, this webinar, because you do this so easily.
Effortless to say, typically.
So easily that you didn't realize you were doing something special, to tell the truth. And then I pointed out to you that we needed a webinar training on how to do these resource, and I keep calling them resource boxes, but these call to actions, because this is where the money comes from.
Exactly.
And this is where your why I called you the king of conversion. Yeah,
this is where your profit comes from, whether that profit is more traffic and more people in your list community, or whether that profit is more income. And folks, you know, let's just play with this aside, David, to bring it up, because what he brings up is the huge importance of doing stuff with other people and being part of a mastermind, being part of a group, the huge importance of having somebody else's eyes on your business, because I've been doing this for so long and so much of it is so natural, I don't see a lot of it. David, as we prepped for this webinar, pointed out something that opens up a whole new can't think of the word, product line, but also service delivery to folks. What's that?
Whole new channel.
A whole new channel of helping people and creating products. I already started one a little while ago. So from that, what I want you to realize is look at just this section, how natural it all is, how it flows, how it's simply conversational. It's not really promotional. It's just invitational. Okay? When you use invitational language, you'll make more money. It's as simple as that. Okay, so let's look at some more of this broken down. Okay, remember where I talked about the 3 things you want in your invitation? Here's what I've got for you. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what you want to do next. Here's what I've got for you part. Okay, get started creating content. That's part of what it'll do for you. Free instant access to my 3 mistakes content creation template. Well, that's what I've got for you. A content creation template, right? Okay, so that's explaining what I've got for you. Now I slipped in a little bit of here's what it'll do for you, and that, it really doesn't matter what order you do it in. If you mix it up, it's fine as long as you're meeting all 3. But there's the here's what I've got for you. Here's what it will do for you. You'll get the template complete with formulas and instructions, along with a look over my shoulder video, and really I've got to hand that piece of what I do, give you NAMS credit and Kurt Chalet, okay? Because many NAMS ago, when we were by the airport, right, I was doing something like this and having people create content right out there, and I just decided to do it on the big screen and create an article. And Kurt came up to me afterwards and said, Jeff, watching you create content is like watching Steven Spielberg direct a movie. And I looked at Kurt, who I really didn't know that well right then, and I said 2 things to Kurt. I said, 1, thank you very much, my new best friend. And 2, don't go anywhere, because I wanted to go get the video camera and capture that testimony. Okay? But you get a look over your shoulder video that shows you how to create the content, how to use the template. Okay? So that's all about here's what it'll do for you. So back up here was here's what I've got for you. Here's what it'll do for you. And here's what you want to do next. Now, when I was first taught this, David, it was here's what I want you to do next. I've changed the language to here's what you want to do next, which I think is more invitational and more powerful. Okay? So here's what you want to do next. Grab yours by visiting contentcreationtemplate.com. Okay? And along with a look over my shoulder video, that's a clickable link. Okay? So there's 2 places where they get to do what's next. Make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
We got a question here from Tim that I wanted to get out there when you're
awesome,
ready.
Tim.
So Tim said, are there different types of call to actions?
What are the different types?
No, he said, are there different types?
Oh, absolutely. This is just one.
Okay.
This is the Flow Invite brand, and there's several versions of Flow and of the Fib, a Flow Invite brand, and you tweak them a little bit for text content, for audio content, for video, for webinars, for presentations. So there's very different channels to go through, and all kinds of different kinds. This is pretty invitational. There's other ones. There's the takeaway. There's the do it now. This is more invitational. So yeah, there's all kinds.
Okay, and you're going to talk about those as part of your template package, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I decided right before the webinar to do something. Thanks to you helping me come up with a great idea. Really cool for the NAMS folks. So,
okay, good.
So let me show you another example of where here's what I've got for you, here's what it'll do for you, here's what you want to do next, is used. And those 3 things, here's what I've got for you, here's what it'll do for you, here's what you want to do next, is the simplest way to create a sales letter that I know. All right, so here's an example. Okay, this is the part of the sales letter for the content creation templates. Okay, so watch what happens here. You're welcomed in, and look, you've seen this language before? Here's what we've got for you. I mean, sometimes you can just be that direct with it, folks. Here's what we've got for you. And so I walk you through what you're going to get. 21 profitable content creation templates, what each template module has, the graphics, instructions, look over my shoulder videos, the bonus of 21 prospect and profit pulling ways to repurpose your content, the bonus of a content creation consult with me. Okay, so here's what I've got for you. Here's what profitable content creation templates 5.0 will do for you. So I'm taking that here's what it'll do for you and adding some to it, and I just walk you through bullet by bullet, here's what it'll do for you. And here at the end, what to do next. Choose your option to come on board, and there's some buttons down at the bottom, and you'll see that later when we talk about how to come on board. But do you see how that one piece of call to action is used here in a call to action in the sales letter?
Yep.
Okay? So this isn't just for your content, folks. This is for your sales letter. A sales letter is a call to action, isn't it?
Big time.
Big time. It's just done in a different way. So what I want you guys to do is play with this a little bit. We got time to have them do some stuff, David?
Absolutely. But one of the things that I wanted to bring out before we get to that is that people, the reason we're call to action in your letter, your article writing, seems like a fairly small thing. But if you do this on a regular basis with this call to action, and I'm telling you from experience here, this is the key I think that's missing from most of my content. And I really need to up my game here, and that is to add that call to action that becomes part of the content. It's just going to make all the difference in the world on all pieces of content.
It will.
So that's why we really wanted to hone in on this specific topic.
I'm loving doing it, David. And what you're looking at here, folks, as I point to the screen, as if you can see me, this formula, this pattern can be used anywhere. Okay, this is a couple of slides on a video or in a webinar or in a presentation. Now, two things I want to tell you about this, all right? This particular call to action, phrased this way, with this particular link, is responsible. Now, I've been getting into numbers lately, dude. That one thing is responsible for 54.3% of my list community have come in through that right there. That's a little bit huge.
That's right? A little bit huge.
A little bit huge. And it's because of the people that have come in through there, probably a lot of people on this webinar. It's also responsible for tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because when people come in and they've liked how you've approached problems, solved problems, they responded to your call to action, they're hungry, they're responsive, and they spend money with you. Because one of the things that you do here, and I'm just realizing this as I'm talking, this is a way to treat people really, really well in a call to action. Because do you see in here how I'm not banging you over the head and threatening you with false scarcity or urgency? I'm just saying, hey, got some cool stuff for you. Come on and get it. Here's what you get. Okay? When you treat people well, they're highly responsive. It's like one of the things I always say. When you take great care of your list community, they're going to take great care of you. Okay?
Yeah, and the other thing I want to say, too, about consistency here, because the way you do content, and you do so much content, that you don't have to bang people over the head. What is it that, they say 7 or 10 or 20 or whoever it is that you're listening to?
Right, yeah, 7 to 8 touches or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm reading 4 or 5 of your articles or watching 4 or 5 of or reading 4 or 5 of your blog posts or something like that, and I like what I'm reading because I've read so much of that already, and I get to the bottom and I see this call to action or a call to action like this at the bottom every time, one of those I'm going to say, well, what is this guy? Who is this guy, and what's this all about? I'm going to click it.
Exactly, exactly. And so, folks, what I invite you to do, just while we're doing the rest of this webinar, this is a formula right here. It's one of many. Okay, copy it. Start with get started here, and then I want to help you get started, whatever it is you want to help them get started doing. Okay, and here are 3 important words to use. Okay, connecting you with here's the 3 important words. Free instant access. Okay, use those words. Why? Because every single one of them plays on human nature. Okay, do I have to explain anything about free? I mean, come on. Instant. Okay, look at the world we live in. Everything's instant. Get it right away. What's that comedian, David? I can't think of his name, but he's hilarious. He does a routine about how, people get so frustrated about technology, and he's somebody, oh, I can't get that text back, or I can't get that text down. He's like, it's going to space and back. Can you give it a minute? So it's instant, right? Okay. And then the word access. Access implies you're getting behind the scenes of something. You're getting something that not everybody's getting. Okay, so just in those three little words, there's a lot of power. Free instant access. I noticed you're writing them down, David. Good for you, buddy, because we're going to fix up your calls to action. Okay?
We are.
So, and then, notice I don't say click here. Well, I do, but I say grab yours by visiting. That's one way to say click here. One of the exercises you ought to do, folks, is at the top of a page, write the phrase click here, and then write down every dadgum other way you can say it. Okay? Because click here is so overused. I very rarely use it anymore. Right? So grab yours by visiting, and then tell them a little bit about what they're going to get. You'll get whatever it is they're going to get. And somewhere in there you got another link.
So can I make a couple of comments here?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so a couple of things that you said that are really important that people need to pay attention to. First is you said use these words, copy this. So my constitution, the way I was made up, was that I always needed to do everything myself, and if somebody else was already doing it, I need to be different. I am finally learning after years that when somebody says this works, use it. That's what I do. Use that paragraph, that sentence, those words. Don't try to be different. I've bragged Jeff for years about what he was teaching at NAMS because I wanted him to do something different. But what he was teaching was foundational content creation, and he kept saying, it's working, it's working. And because we have 100, 200, 200, and 300 tracks, people were going through his training into another track. So it was always working. He didn't need to reinvent the wheel every time. He needed to hone it and teach it better. That's exactly what you're saying here is use these words.
Exactly. And you know, this last NAMS I did something different, and it was so funny. I thought about you because people were coming up to me afterwards and saying, Jeff, man, I really like that presentation. What a great presentation. I kind of wish you did the one you usually do.
Well, you did something different. I came up to you and said, why'd you do that?
I know, yeah, right. And when people say that, I send them straight to you. Okay?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Now, what you just said is really, really important, okay? Because here's how you get really good at something. Okay, this, folks, this is worth the whole investment of your time today. All right? Start by doing what David just said. Do it like it's shown you. Use these words. Do it like you've seen it, okay? And then after you get proficient at it, you can begin to modify it a little bit and make it more of your own, but only after you've used what works for a while. And then you keep testing and testing and testing. Just like at last NAMS, it was a test. We tested Jeff doing something a little bit different, okay? And what did we learn?
Jeff's going to go back to doing what worked.
That's right, okay? So,
all right, so the second thing I wanted to say,
brought to you by your name, and then something you help people do. Don't give your title or your degrees or whatever. Say what you help them do. Okay? Now, what I'm going to show you next is something cool. What's that?
Sorry, wait. Because there was a couple other things on this that I wanted to comment about. The first was this click here concept that you had.
Yeah.
Writing down click here and coming up with all the variations. If you've been struggling to come up with an opt-in link bait, if you put together 101 ways to say click here, I think you'd have opt-ins through the roof. If you offered that as a free gift, what do you think, Jeff?
Are you suggesting I do that?
No, I'm suggesting somebody on here.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I opted in to get that. I think that's a great idea.
Because not a lot of people have thought about this like I have, but I'm just kind of nerdy that way. If something's been overused, I want to find another way to do it. So yeah, 101 ways to say click here. Great title. Awesome. Okay.
And the other thing is if you're adding in here, look over my shoulder video, does that not also indicate that I'm inviting you into my office and you're being right there? And it is it's building that relationship in no other way. It's an intimate relationship right away.
Oh, great point, David. See, what you point out, David, is in this area right here, and up here too, but especially in this area, we could spend the rest of today doing this word by word. because there is not one accidental word in these 3 paragraphs. Every single word has a purpose. Okay? And so that's why I say, just do this. Okay, copy it, plug in your own stuff. Now, what I'm going to do is fast forward through some stuff for sake of time. Let's see. All right, so here's the 21 profitable content creation templates and what you get with it. Now, in the beginning, in everything I do, there's a Get Started Here module. And in the Get Started Here module, I talk about the call to action. All right, now, just kind of bookmark what I just said and we'll come back to it. All right, because you get 21 of these things. Okay? And in a minute, I'll show you all the different ones. You get the graphic, you get detailed instructions, all the look over my shoulder videos, and David wisely pointed out what that is. That's an invitation to, like, look over my shoulder. What does that imply? You're coming into my office, we're working together, okay? Now, I give you an example from my own work for each. Now, that's 21 more pieces of content, so that's a course within a course. And then a lot of my top students are given an example. And I got a lot of top students with this, a lot of examples. First bonus, 21 different ways to repurpose your content. Second bonus, you and I on the phone with a content creation consult. Third bonus, private Facebook group around profitable content creation. Now, just going over just all of these, there's all 21 of the templates. 3 mistakes, 3 stages, busting myths, things to avoid, the beginner's guide to something, universal laws, warning signs, secrets, of course, and on it goes. Okay, you get formulas and step-by-step instructions. And in these look over my shoulder videos, I'm taking each template and starting just with the outline of the template and plugging in content. You hear me type, you hear me thinking out loud while I'm creating content. And there's Kurt's great quote. Okay, examples for each, of course, within a course. How others like you have used the templates. And I'm going to show you how to repurpose the content into marketing messages and information products. You and me on the phone, taking a good look at your content and making it better. A lot of people tell me, David, I'm nuts for talking to as many of my students as I do. I think they're nuts for not doing it, because you learn so much and you get so much better at what you do in the private Facebook group. Now, what I'm going to do is show you the 2 ways to come on board. Okay, you can do it for 3 investments at 77, 1 now, and then 1 each month, or save 34 bucks and do it for 197 at profitablecontentcreation.com. Now, here's what's going on. This is about as fresh off the presses as you can get, because David gave me this idea today. I went and did the outline in the place where I create my products. But I'm working on a new resource about profitable content conversion. Okay, because Tim asked, are there other calls to action? There's dozens. Okay, I'm going to create a new resource about this. Okay, it's just started today. It's not out yet. It's going to be priced. All my entry-level products are $197. All right, because David gave me the idea, and because you guys are NAMS folks, the folks that get these templates today, or from this webinar, this hangout, get that brand new product free. Okay? Special unannounced bonus. So not only are you getting a great deal here, you're getting a whole nother $200 product totally free as a bonus for being a person in NAMS and for David giving me the idea. Sound cool?
Sounds very cool. What happens if people watch this replay later?
If they watch it later,
yep,
grab the templates. It comes in through your link. I'll know who they are, and they get the new product free.
How much later? Are you putting a time limit on this?
Should we put a time limit on this, or what?
I'm just asking. I don't care if you don't, but I just want to make sure that when we put this out there, that people know that they can take advantage of this, and they need to sign up now to take advantage of your free course.
See, I could see a lot of, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about your help desk and my help desk, and taking good care of our staff.
Right.
So let's put a limit on this.
Okay.
All right, here's 2 limits. people that do this, while they're listening to this now, okay, I'll throw in another as of yet named bonus, another new product I'm working on, okay? Now, those of you that take fast action actually get 3 products for the price of 1, all right? However, get this and get the content conversion templates, just made that up, free. That'll be good till the next NAMS. How's that?
Till the next NAMS. Okay, good.
Because you're going to have this in the members area that people can listen to it. Okay? So.
Excellent.
Yeah. Whoops, go back the other way. How did I get that far back? Okay, we're going to review real quickly here. Get back here. All right. Now, there's everything you're getting again. 21 templates. Look over my shoulder videos, all the bonuses, plus the extra bonus of the brand new content conversion templates. Okay? And there's where you make your decision, folks. You can do it across 3 payments. And David, something I say to everybody, if you need me to finance this for you, I'll do it. Okay? Do what I tell you to do on the inside of this course, and you won't ever need to finance something at this level again. Okay? Or you can do 1 payment of $197 and save $34. ProfitableContentCreation.com, that's David's link. And you get the extra bonus of content conversion templates that are going to show you all the different ways to turn your content into cash.
So Diane is asking, what is the free course again?
The free course, created just the idea a few hours ago. Okay? Well, you guys tell me, what sounds better? Profitable content conversion secrets, or content conversion templates? What do you think, David?
I like content conversion secrets.
Okay, content conversion secrets. Okay, so the product is content conversion secrets. What I've shown you folks today on this webinar is it's really good, useful stuff, and you can go take it and profit. It's only one small, thin slice of what's available to you in the upcoming content conversion secrets. I'm going to show you how to use calls to action in text, in audio, in video, and in infographics. I'm going to show you several for each one, so you can pick from different ones where to use the best ones, so you can increase your conversion. Think about what David was just saying a moment ago. He's gotten a whole lot better at creating content, but he's struggling with the conversion part. Okay, you will no longer have to struggle, because you're going to be able to fill in the blanks with time-tested, proven stuff. It's just this one I showed you is built more than half my list. Okay, the others are responsible for the rest. So you're going to get, I don't even know how many there's going to be, how many different templates, how many different calls to action in there. But you guys know me. You know I deliver and over-deliver on resources. So that's what you get for free. It's going to be at least $197 when it launches.
So let me just say something here about this, because I really believe this, Jeff.
Okay.
The first thing is, nobody else can create this course. You're the only one I know who can create this content conversion secret course. The second part of this is, I'm making a prediction that I absolutely believe this is going to become a bigger course for you than the templates course, believe it or not, the templates themselves.
Wow.
And the reason is...
That would be pretty huge, dude.
I know, but let me tell you why.
Okay.
We can create content all day long, and people get frustrated creating content when they don't see results. You can't create resources and call to actions and not get results.
Wow. I'm getting excited, dude. I think you're right.
I think it's absolutely true, because when people find out what kind of results they get from your content conversions secrets, which you revealed some of it here today, they're just going to want more and more of that. So I've been pushing you for a long time gently to do this, and I finally am glad that you're seeing the way.
Well, you know, it's like I said, I think when we were doing the instructor mastermind, give me 3 or 4 years and I can figure out anything. You know, and you've been kind of gently bugging me about this for a while, you know, and for whatever reason, it clicked today when you used that phrase, and I went, wow, he's right. And really, thank you, my friend and my brother from another mother, for saying that there's no one else out there that could create this. Because I tend to downplay what I do, and because I'm so close to it, I don't see a lot of stuff. So thank you for saying that. Because you know what? I think you're right.
I agree. I agree. So Art says, and done. Looking forward to these new templates.
Awesome. Welcome aboard, Art. Can't wait to talk with you.
And Stephanie says, I have the templates, working my way through them. I did need a little bit more to develop my call to action, so this helped. Good.
Awesome. Great. Great.
Let's see. Is there any overlap in the new course with the upsell that's on your page from the templates?
The upsell is the $10 a month thing. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, there is no overlap, because what I'm going to do there is each month I'm going to give you a brand new template.
And that's an article template.
What's that?
That's an article template.
Yeah. It might be an article template. It might be a webinar template,
okay,
a subject line template, an email template, anything that you use online. It'll be a template.
Excellent. Okay.
And as part of that, I'll do a webinar, one webinar a month around that template and how to use it. So there won't be call to action templates in that resource, because this is going to be a whole different resource. So welcome aboard, Art.
So if anyone is a member of your templates already, is there a way for them to get this course as well?
That is a good question. Let me think that through. If you are on this call, now listen, I'm going to reward the people that are on this webinar, this hangout, at 4:32 p.m. Eastern on September 3rd, the year of our Lord 2014. Okay? Those of you that are on here, I want to reward you for being here. You've already got the templates. You'll get this course free. Okay? But if you're listening to this in replay, sorry, you needed to be here live.
Okay, good. So that's the rule. You had to be here live to get it free if you've already got the templates. Because I know we've already got a lot of people in our organization that have the templates, me included. So I'm really glad to hear that I get it free too.
Well, of course.
The other thing is, if you are listening to this replay, you do not get that, but you got to go get the templates anyway so that you can get the course. So that, I'm telling you, this Content Conversion Secrets course is the thing that's going to turn your content around. I've been looking forward to this forever.
Isn't this fun, David?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been in my head, percolating. You've been talking about it. It really came together today, and it changed a lot of what I taught on this webinar. And the reason I lift that out, folks, is this is about what we're talking about right now is the lifestyle and all the cool benefits that can come from doing something like this. Hang on a second. My voice is going. Because you get to, this didn't exist 3 hours ago, okay? And we're creating it. And I know this lights you up like it does me. And folks, we want you to do this stuff. This is why NAMS exists. What we're talking about right now is why NAMS exists. So you can take the gift you were given to give out to the world and package it in such a way where you can make a difference in the world and profit from it. Those things go together, and it's okay that they go together, okay? Because there's more people out there waiting to hear from you who can only hear it from you than you could ever get to in your lifetime. And this is how you do it. And by taking this path that David's taken, that I've taken, you start talking about stuff. And okay, I'm a little slow. David's been talking to me about it for a while. Like I said, give me 2 or 3 years, I can get anything.
We're all busy, you know.
What's that?
We're all busy. We got other things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But this is the lifestyle. This is the juice that we want for you. It's why we do NAMS. So you can do this kind of stuff and have the autonomy, the freedom, the excitement, and the ability to make a difference that we have.
So the other thing I wanted to say about that is one of the reasons we got so jacked up about this is that you were in the Insiders Club last month doing in our private Facebook group, helping folks with their content as well. And people got really excited by that. And I knew that I needed help with call to actions, and they needed help with call to actions. And so that's one of the reasons I pushed you on this, is to do more call to action work, and to teach that as a course with people. And so I'm glad you responded to that this way.
And I thank you for doing that, and welcome aboard some more folks, Kathy, and some others. And I want to build on what David said, okay? Because I want to go back to when I was in private practice, David, and in a town glutted with therapists. Here I'm opening a practice, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. And then several years later, actually 10 years after I opened it, I went completely insurance and managed care free. And people were telling me, you're going to go out of business. And a year later, they're asking me how I did it, right? Okay? My point, and welcome aboard, Brenda. My point is this. When I first started, and who else? Whoever's behind Performance-Based Marketing Group. And so, David, when I first started doing the practice, people would say to me, Jeff, dude, you are really good at working with teenagers. And listen closely, folks, to the limitation that I had in my head about that. What I'd think when people told me that after I said thank you was, well, yeah, but I breathe well too. Hey, what's the big deal? Right. And what I found out was most therapists are terrified of kids.
Right.
And I'd come from running a drug treatment center where it was me and 35 kids, and I'm the only adult on the property. Most of them are bigger than me. And I always sat there thinking, it's only going to take 2 or 3 of them to figure this out. And fortunately, they never did. Okay? And so when I went into private practice and would walk into a therapy room with 8 kids to do a group, and the other therapists are shuddering, I'm thinking, this is cake. Okay? My point is this, and David pointed it out by pointing me towards the call to action stuff that I do naturally because I've done this so long. Folks, every single one of you has a golden product like this inside of you around something that you do naturally, that you don't think is any big deal.
And we devalue.
And we devalue it. Listen to what I said. Jeff, you're great with teenagers. Yeah, I breathe well too. Well, what? What a dumb thing to say, right?
Right.
Okay? And then I did it again, David, because that column for the newspaper started in 1994. When did I start teaching this? 2005.
Mm.
For 11 years, I had people telling me, Jeff, you're a really good therapist, but you're a whole lot better at the column. Teach people how to do this. And I'd think, there's only so much newspaper space. Why would I train my competition? Okay? And then I started it in 2005, and phew, the rest is history. Right. So, folks, pay attention to what people are telling you you're good at. Value it. David has said, he expects the content conversion secrets to do better than the templates. Folks, these templates that you're getting were invented in 2005. Okay? And I've been riding that train for 9 years, making them better and making them better. You're at the 5.0 version, okay? And you'll get the updates and everything. And here's an idea that was obvious to David. I couldn't see it until today, that he thinks is going to, and I agree with him, is going to be even bigger. So pay attention to what people are telling you you're good at.
So we have a couple of questions here, and most of them center right now around, if I have these already, how do I notify you and get access to the course? So you have a support desk, right?
I do, but first what you got to do is write me a note, okay, and hide it in a mayonnaise jar, okay?
With the call to action, right?
Yeah, I watch Johnny Carson film, okay? Write this address down. Okay, Jewel hates this. Oh, she hates this. Jewel@jeffherring.com, because I always give her name out, and I'll tell it again in a minute. And I forget to tell her these things, and all these people are emailing her. Jewel, J-E-U-L, J-E-U-L, Jewel@jeffherring.com. Okay, tell her that you bought the templates or that you were on this webinar. Okay, and we will keep a separate list. For when this product comes out, you guys will be the first to get it. Okay, and I may even invite you behind the scenes as I create it, and you'll get behind the scenes too. So, good question.
Okay, so let's see. Sheila has a question I don't understand, and I don't know if you're addressing it to me, Sheila, or to Jeff. If we have product creation and are on this call, how do we get the conversion secrets? So this was only good if you have Jeff's content, profitable content templates, right?
Right.
So if you have that, Jeff will hook you up with the call, or hook you up with the call to action template course, that what are we calling that, content conversion secrets course. If you have other products of his or mine, it doesn't matter, you still need to get his templates to get the course. Okay?
Got it. And I got a question from Kat here in my email, and the answer is yes, because she's loving this webinar, and we are her new go-to resource.
Okay, great.
Cool. Thank you, Kat.
And let's see, we've got
Bring them on. I love questions.
Art says, oh, he's making a comment. We undercut ourselves all the time. We take ourselves for granted more than anything else we take for granted. That's absolutely true.
It's really true.
Okay, so if you've already taken advantage of Jeff's content of the profitablecontentcreation.com link today, which I put as a sticky note at the top here in our chat box in this is not Aweber or remember, this is Webinar Jam. If you've already done that, then pop in here with yes, you're in, and make sure that we notify, make sure that you get added to the list of the for the content conversion secrets course. Okay. Now, Jeff, I've got about 5 or 6 minutes left here. Do we have?
Way to go to Janet. All right, Janet, can't wait to talk to you. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What?
That's
Sir?
all right. What did you say about Janet?
I was congratulating Janet, who just joined us.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So, any last thoughts here as people are popping in here?
You know, folks, do what David and I tell you to do. I got 12 different thoughts in my head at once. Do what David and I tell you to do. And the reason I say that is I know this guy's heart, okay? And he busts his ass for NAMS, and he knows my heart, and we want to see you succeed. Okay, so if we tell you to do something, do it. One of the things I committed to with my first mentor is I'm going to do everything he tells me to do, okay? And I did. And that's part of what helped me go from $200 a month to $20K a month in 3 months back in 07. Okay, do what we suggest you do and stick with it, because here's what I believe with all my heart. No, write this down. No one ever fails online. It's just that some people give up before the magic happens, and that giving up may be quitting completely, or that giving up may be stopping whatever you're pursuing and going and doing something else, and then going and doing something else, and then going and doing something else. That's why I talk about going an inch wide and a mile deep, because that's where the magic happens. Okay? So grab onto this stuff. David and I will take care of you. We want to see you get your message out there. Nothing lights us up more than to see people progress. Okay? And David and I grin all the time about the number of speakers at NAMS now that were students. How many are there now?
Almost a dozen.
Almost a dozen that sat out in the audience, and now they're on stage.
And about half of those started in NAMS 100.
That's right. Christine Cobb is a perfect example.
Beginners.
Yeah. And so, folks, you know, go get this stuff at profitablecontentcreation.com. You get the templates, and you get the call to action course, the content conversion course. I would estimate delivery of that. What is this? Beginning of September, October, sometime in October at the latest. I'm pretty quick with this stuff. You're never going to get it better.
I'm going to encourage you to drip it.
What's that?
I'm going to encourage you to drip it.
To drip it?
Yep.
Tell me more what you mean by that.
As you're creating it, drip out some of those things.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yep.
Module 1's done. Here.
Yep.
Grab it. I like that. I like
We'll
that.
talk.
See, this is why David and I talk, you know. Um, anyway, um, go get this stuff. Go use this stuff. It works. We'll take care of you. We want to see you succeed. That's my story, David. I'm sticking to it.
I appreciate your time, Jeff. And boy, we got a lot of people who came in. That's great. And I'm looking forward to it. Mari's in, Brenda's in, Stephanie's in, and a lot of folks here who already have your templates are in. We've got a lot of other folks. So thanks for doing this, Jeff. I am so excited about this. It's one of the things that's going to make a big difference for everybody because we're results-based. The conversion secrets course is going to be, content conversion secret course is going to be something that helps people see results fast. So thanks for doing it.
Man, thank you. I'm honored to do it, and I can't wait to work with everybody and see you in March.
Okay, thanks. We'll talk to you soon, folks. Take
Okay.
care.